Good afternoon and TGIF on this
Oh,
Friday.
yeah.
That's right, it is
Friday.
Friday.
You forgot?
Well, I think that you're hoping that it's going to get to Friday, and then when it gets to Friday, you're like, is it Friday?
You're like, boy, that really snuck up on me.
We're not making you come back tomorrow. You can have a nice weekend.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
That's right. I'm Chad Silber. This is Tim Buckley. That's Tanya Rivera. We are happy to see you here today. Tim, boy, it's kind of a dreary day out there.
It's kind of like a February day in August, isn't it? It's still
So
kind of
weird.
muggy and warm, but
Yeah.
that drizzle we had much of the day, that was strange. That's gone now. We're still transitioning back to summer, and I think you'll see the difference by tomorrow. We'll talk
Okay.
about that in a couple minutes.
All right, but first today, a big story we're following right now. An expensive mess for Alamance Burlington schools that could impact the start of the school year. Now, the district just revealed it discovered mold throughout Andrews Elementary in Burlington.
Right, and officials were saying that the mold was in classrooms and in some HVAC areas, and the district just released a statement. Reading in part says this, we're going to show it to you. Upon discovery, the principal and staff working at Andrews Elementary for the summer were immediately relocated. That, along with the planned summer school programs to other ABSS schools as a safety precaution. Facilities staff have been working diligently over the past few days with HVAC contractors to assess the problem and determine repair costs.
Now, leaders believe that the mold came from a broken compressor in an HVAC chiller unit. It'll be an expensive fix too. The district says a partial replacement along with a full cleaning of the building will cost about $750,000. The school board held a special meeting today to approve that money.
Now, as for the timeline, the district says it doesn't really know how long the repairs are going to take. Right now, officials are working on planning to potentially relocate Andrews Elementary staff and students if needed for the beginning of the school year, but they're hoping they're not going to have to do that.
Right. The district says that it hopes to have all this fixed by the first day back for teachers, but that's only 2 weeks from today, so the timeline is very short. As you can imagine, this is a developing story, and we will hear from the district coming up at 5.
Let's get you up to speed on the weather across the area, and I have a lot to say because it's changing a lot. Place to place, town by town this afternoon. Going to start you off with a view, just kind of proof positive that the weather is different from place to place. Some thick clouds remain in Burlington, but take a look in the upper corner. Winston-Salem has some sunshine. Still pretty cloudy in Greensboro. You can tell by the temperature also. It's only 76 degrees. Warmer than yesterday, but not by a lot. Our dew point has really crept up too. So even though it's cloudy and a little cool, there's a ton of humidity. So you can still sweat very easily outside today, even with those 70s. But take a look at this. It's not often that Wilkesboro and Mount Airy are some of the hottest spots on the board, but they are today. They've had sunshine in those areas. The foothills have cleared out. As we look at the satellite picture, the dark represents sunshine and the white, that's a true picture of clouds from space. So right now we have sunshine in the foothills. We do not have that, of course, in the Triad area or central North Carolina for that matter. It's raining on and off at the beach today. Well, you're not there, are you? That's okay. We're looking at tonight. We will clear out. The clouds will go away, and tomorrow morning we'll start out with some sunshine. And take a look. Our model runs a little hot here. I think those numbers are a couple degrees too warm, but I do have us close to 90 for tomorrow. I have us at 88 degrees, 89 for Sunday. It will feel every part of August for your weekend. The only chance for a storm would be late Sunday afternoon and just 1 or 2 across the area.
All right, with that, we go to the 84th Wyndham Championship underway at Sedgefield Country Club. Another wet start to the day. We knew that was going to happen. It didn't seem, though, to affect many of the golfers at the top of the leaderboard.
All right, some big names are actually still on the course right now. Some are at risk of not making the cut. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is live at Sedgefield with an update. Hey, Amanda.
Yeah, Chad, we are here at Sedgefield Country Club. Round 2 of the Wyndham Championship underway. We are seeing more fans here today. You probably can't tell from behind me, but there are a lot more fans here today as we get deeper into the tournament. Now, taking a look at that leaderboard, everyone is out here chasing Russell Henley. He came into the day at the top of the leaderboard, and he remains there. He sits at 12 under for the tournament through 2 rounds. A 3-way tie for second with Adam Sevenson, Lucas Glover, and Byung Hun on. Now, a bunch of guys out here will be cut after today. Some have to be really careful. Now that includes one of the biggest names on the course, that's Justin Thomas. He's got to have a really good round to stay in the Wyndham Championship. Now remember, he is trying to make the FedEx Cup playoffs. He sits in the FedEx Cup standings at just outside of that top 70, so he really wants to get in there.
All right, looking ahead, we're going to have coverage of the Wyndham Championship all weekend long. The last 2 rounds of the tournament air right here on WFMY News 2 tomorrow and Sunday from 3 until 6. We'll have all the highlights each night as well on WFMY News 2 at 11.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, a Greensboro woman is facing charges accused of assaulting children at an apartment pool. Police arrested 62-year-old Kimberly Jennings, the apartment manager at Sedgefield Gardens. Now, video circulating online appears to show Jennings pour a soda on a boy at the pool. It also appears to show her hit him with the bottle. The family that reported the incident says they do not live at that apartment complex. She is now charged with assault on a child under 12. We will have much more on this developing story coming up at 5.
Well, King police say they're looking for these 2 people in this video here. Officials say they're accused of vandalism and assault at Tokyo Japanese Grill on South Main Street. King officers say it happened Wednesday. The manager of the restaurant told them the suspects are a group of teenagers who often eat there but don't tip. The manager says the restaurant told them you couldn't eat there anymore unless you ordered takeout. The manager says 2 of the teens tried to dine in yesterday, but were asked to leave, and that is when she says all of it happened. She says they began smashing things on the table, assaulting her and her father. While police have confirmed they are investigating, we are still waiting for police to release a copy of the police report.
And you've got to see a wild ATM robbery caught on camera. Thomasville police are searching for the people who broke into a license plate agency earlier this week. The suspects threw a rock through the window to get inside and then strapped a tie around the ATM and used a U-Haul truck to drag it out. Investigators say they believe this crime could be connected to a similar theft in Greensboro back in May. In that case, criminals used a rock to break a window at a Greensboro DMV location, then used a truck to steal the ATM. No one's been arrested in this case or the one in Thomasville.
District 6 U.S. Congresswoman Kathy Manning is recovering after a car crash in Greensboro. Officials say it happened yesterday as she was traveling to a roundtable discussion in High Point. Manning and a staff member were taken to Cone Health with some minor injuries and released soon after. Manning is expected to continue working from home as she recovers.
Here's a weird question that you probably answer all the time. Are you a robot? It's something that you've seen when you're online and you have to answer questions to figure out whether you are real, but changes are on the way. Websites will soon stop making you prove that you're a real person. Eric is connecting the dots this afternoon.
Anyone who's navigated the internet has run into these robot tests. They're called CAPTCHAs, and they can come in a couple different forms. Everything from clicking a box to selecting boxes that include a traffic light. But these tests are really monitoring how you navigate the page, because a human will scroll through a page much differently than a bot. Here's the problem. AI and machine learning are giving bots the ability to behave more like humans, allowing them to beat a CAPTCHA. Also, some humans get so annoyed by these robot tests that they abandon their purchases altogether. Newer approaches are giving up on challenging humans and now challenging our computers. According to the Washington Post, sites can look for clues on your computer and browser to see if they're being controlled by a human. While this means you'll see fewer traffic light challenges on big websites, experts warn smaller companies will take longer to make the switch, and that's connecting the dots.
So sometimes when I do this, I get nervous because I'm like, okay, so what if I get it wrong? Are they going to kick me out? So then the question is, do you see a car in this? Click all the boxes with a car.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, it looks like there's maybe a little piece of a car
like a fender
in this
or something.
one. Do you think I should click? And I'm sitting here taking all the time in the world trying to figure out which one should I click?
It is a little stressful, isn't it? Yes. They're like, are you really a human? I was like, well, are you? I'm just talking to robots here. Like, what's the difference?
Do I need this $15 product that much for this much stress?
It's strange. I'm kind of glad to see it go, I think.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. I think to myself, You know what? By this point, the bots have outsmarted, right, all of the things.
And I mean, so the idea, right, is to let the computer look to see your browsing history and that kind of stuff to find out if you're real. Well, the bots are going to figure a way out around that too. So
I don't like any direction that we're going. Like,
I know.
Can we just eliminate the robots?
Yeah.
Go away.
Except some of it has made our life better.
Let's put that toothpaste back in the tube. Can't do that.
Can't do that.
As Mama said.
pick out the yellow buses in this square.
How about the bicycles?
Right. Fire hydrants, don't forget about
Remember
that.
they said the blurry letters? Like, what does this
Oh,
say?
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Right.
like, that looks like a J, but it could be an I because there's a little hook at the
At
bottom.
the optometrist.
All right, we'll be right back.
Scientists announced a grim milestone this month. The world's oceans hit the hottest average recorded temperature.
Experts explain what it means and why it's so alarming.
Heat waves plaguing the planet are sweeping through our seas. Scientists from Europe recently recorded the hottest ever average ocean temperature, just shy of 70 degrees.
Personally, I'm really concerned. The heat waves that we're experiencing on land and the marine heat waves that we're seeing are happening in unusual locations where we haven't expected them.
The world's warming waters threaten to melt the ice caps, destroy coral reefs, and kill marine life, like plankton. The tiny plants and animals create the base of the ocean's food chain. They produce around 50% of the Earth's oxygen. That's every second breath you take, but they're sensitive to heat.
People's perspective is that the ocean, it's so big, it's so vast that it can buffer, anything that humanity can throw at it. And the reality is that's not the case.
The effects are also being felt in the United States. Water temperatures off the tip of South Florida hit a record-setting 101 degrees for 2 straight days last week, threatening local coral and sea life. Scientists also warned the warming oceans could trigger more extreme weather, like strong storms, devastating droughts, and fierce floods. Ian Lee, CBS News.
Now, scientists say there is still time to slow down the crisis, but only if we reduce our dependency on fossil fuels. I feel like for someone who's not in the weather or the atmospheric science or just that kind of realm, hearing for so long, we heard about like, oh, we better not do this because down the road it's going to impact us in a bad way. But it seems as though we are now seeing those impacts all the time now.
We're down the road. We aren't at the end of the road, but we're moving down it pretty quickly. A lot of things are happening. We saw that in Florida, those temperatures were really warm.
Bathtub water.
You hear 101 degrees in the ocean, you think something crazy like that's everywhere. That was in a small bay in a small part of the Keys, but even so, if proven correct, that is the warmest. And for those areas, they have coral reefs, and they already have noticed they've been bleached. So I had to look up what that means. I'm not a biologist, but that means that they've been kind of irreparably damaged. So those are consequences from things being too hot, right? And that's biological. For our concerns here in Greensboro, that doesn't mean that much per se, but what it could mean is we go into hurricane season next month, this month, whatever. If there's a storm and the water's 4 or 5 degrees warmer, well, it can be stronger. Or it might be able to form more early, and when they form earlier, they have longer to go, they could get more powerful. Those type of things are all connected. Everything is always connected. So when we dismiss the weather in Canada or China, that's not the right thing to do, because it does matter to us in the end.
Well, let's talk about local weather.
Okay, let's do that. And here, the irony of ironies. We've had a pretty cool summer at times, and we have the last couple of days. And just as I said, how, the weather there impacts our weather has actually been very calm the last couple of months when it comes to heat. But globally, it's been an extremely hot summer. So we've just been real lucky here in the Carolinas to be a little bit more comfortable than our friends and neighbors in the country and also around the world. Right now, your current temperatures are in the 80s in the foothills because of sunshine, 70s across much of the Triad area. And you look out to eastern North Carolina, they have been seeing scattered showers, thunderstorms, not the best of beach days from Wilmington up to the Crystal Coast or even up toward the Outer Banks. But that system is pulling away. If you do have plans to hit the sand this weekend or the next couple of days, it should shape up pretty nicely for you. Across the country, a few systems are trying to move along, but this cold front to our north will not really make it here. In fact, by tomorrow, it'll feel like a totally different world. We will have sunshine. We'll get hot again. I think 91's a little too hot by our computer model there, but I expect right around 89 degrees for both days this weekend. So the heat, the humidity, they're all back. Notice on Sunday afternoon, you could catch maybe 1 or 2 pop-up showers or storms. Probably not a big impact to your plans, but the folks at the Wyndham might be holding their breath just a little bit for those all-important final holes on Sunday. There's always something that makes us a little nervous, and that could be the case for this weekend. Let's get ahead of the 7-day forecast, show you what I see going forward. No big changes for next week. Instead, we get back to normal summer weather. We keep it around 85 to 90 every single day.
All right, close your eyes. Picture this. You're 10 years old. You wake up with a stomach ache, and your mom tells you to do what? All right, you can open them now. She tells you to drink ginger ale, right? This has been a long at-home remedy, but did you know that ginger ale could actually make an upset stomach worse? Here's what we found.
When you get a stomach ache, you may reach for a bottle of ginger ale to help you feel better.
It's a common home remedy for nausea and other gastrointestinal issues.
However, some people online are wondering if their go-to cure actually works. So let's verify. Does ginger ale really help with stomach aches, as many mamas, grandmamas, aunties, and cousins claim? Our sources are a study published in Nutrients in 2020, Emma Slattery, a registered dietitian at Johns Hopkins Medicine, Dr. Matthew Goldman with the Cleveland Clinic, and 4 ginger ale brands.
This claim needs context. Here's why.
A 2020 scientific review published in Nutrients analyzed more than 100 studies on the effects of consuming ginger. It shows that ginger root can help relieve nausea. Registered dietitian Emma Slattery says eating ginger can also help you cut down on bloating and constipation because it improves the rate at which food exits the stomach and continues along the digestive process. But while ginger may be in the name of the fizzy drinks you find in stores, many brands of ginger ale don't actually contain any real ginger. Verify looked at the ingredients lists of 4 popular ginger ale brands. Seagram's says it contains ginger extract with other natural flavors, while Schweppes, Canada Dry, and Great Value ginger ale do not list ginger at all. Instead, only say natural flavors.
So while ginger itself might actually help relieve a stomach ache, the common ginger ales that you can buy at a supermarket don't contain enough of the ingredient to actually make a difference.
Plus, ginger ale, like most other soft drinks, often contains large amounts of sugar, which may create further issues for you and your stomach ache. Dr. Matthew Goldman with the Cleveland Clinic says even diet ginger ale can be harmful because our bodies may not digest artificial sugars as well. So, how can you use ginger when you're feeling sick? The Cleveland Clinic recommends mixing ginger root with decaf tea or warm water.
Or look for drinks that actually contain ginger in the ingredients. With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till.
So I was never a ginger ale person. My household, we did Coke.
Flat Coke?
It could be flat or it could be whatever, but Coke always still works. To this day, Coke works for me.
Have we verified that, or is this
No,
still
this is
an auntie
Ting.
thing?
Ting is verified. It works for me.
Well, if you asked me 2 minutes ago, I would have said
So
this was
ginger ale worked
verified
for you?
by my mom back in the day.
Right.
And I love ginger ale as a snack, as a drink.
Yep.
And I kind of looked forward to it when I was sick. I was like, I can get some ginger ale now.
I am convinced that the only reason saltine crackers still exist is because of the old wives' tale that everybody knows, like saltine crackers and ginger ale.
I do love a saltine cracker. And when I don't feel good, I want a saltine cracker.
It's never fun to tell people their grandmas are wrong.
I
I deal
know.
with this with weather facts, weather
Yes,
folklore. I don't like
yes.
to do it, so
Right.
don't ask.
You all just drink and eat
Believe
whatever
what
it
you
is
like.
that makes you feel better.
Yes. Have your ginger ale and eat light.
That's right. We'll be right back.
It's Who Wants to Know game show time. And yes, there is laughing to be done with this. This is the Wyndham edition. We have door number 1. We also have door number 2.
Wow.
Okay. Don't you want to see?
Can we see behind door
number 1? We can. Okay, so here we go. How many dimples are on a golf ball? Folks at home, make your best guess.
Ooh.
Chad, what do you think?
184.
Okay, the answer is between 300 and 600. Between 300 and 600. How do they get that many dimples on a very small ball?
And why is it such a wide variety?
Because it changes how fast the ball will go. Okay, so let's look at door number 2. What is a golf ball made out of? The first golf balls were made out of wood and then leather pouches stuffed with goose feathers.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You're probably wondering what they're made of now. Well,
Yeah.
first, there are several layers.
All right, so we're seeing those layers right here. You've got like that core, you got layers, you got a cover, and then you've got dimples. The inner layer is usually made out of something that is rubber. The cheap golf balls, 2 layers. The expensive golf balls, 4 or 5 layers.
And those layers can change the velocity and how the ball is carried. Even the roll of the ball on the green can be impacted.
That's right, all by those layers. Lots of technology inside that little white ball. So 2 Wants to Know took up an up-close look at the golf ball being hit around Sedgefield. The size and the amount of the dimples on the golf ball matter.
Which is crazy, right?
I know, right? As a general rule, the more dimples, the better it flies.
So you would think that maybe they would make one with 1,000 dimples.
I don't think they can get it on that small little spot, but maybe they can. I mean, technology continues. Does a ball fly farther when it's hot or when it's cold outside?
I would say hot out.
You are correct. According to MyrtleBeachGolf.com, balls travel farther in hot weather than cold. Now, here's my last fun fact for you.
I'm ready.
All right, it's not door number 1 or number 2, but here it is. According to HowProductsAreMade.com, small dimples give balls a lower trajectory and good control in the wind. But the larger the dimples on the golf ball, they give the ball higher trajectory and longer flight time. I don't know if that's going to help you with your golf game.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Look at all that technology right there.
How about that? I wonder if it had no dimples, what would happen?
It would not roll anywhere.
It would be a marble. We'll be right back. Halftime is over, and we are back on the 4 to 5. I'm Chad Silber here with Tim Buckley and Tanya Rivera.
Hi.
Good to see you both.
Who's winning? If it's halftime, who's winning?
It's going to be.
all are?
We just want a good game. We just want everyone to have fun.
Oh, I see.
Competitive, right?
Oh, we all get a trophy now?
Yes, exactly.
All the blue ribbons all the way around.
Tim, I'm seeing the sky cam from Winston-Salem off camera here. It looks pretty good.
It's always good to point out something that the viewers can't see.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, good.
Look.
Yes, there is
Asking
sunshine.
you, shall we
That's
say?
true.
There it is. Look at that. The
We're
sun.
happy to have it,
We
because
haven't seen it in 2 days.
Even with the cooler weather, you don't want cloudy stuff for
Right.
too long. And
Right.
This is our first sunshine, and you'll get more of it for the weekend, too.
Otherwise, we would be living in Ohio and not North Carolina.
And
where
who
we
the
see
heck
nice
wants
blue
to live
skies.
in
There's a reason we
Ohio.
don't do that, because they lie about airplanes.
Oh, first in flight. That's us.
That's true. So true. All right. We're going to get to the news of the day. Here we go. Former President Donald Trump, he's now doing double duty. He's preparing to defend himself in the courts while trying to win the Republican presidential primary all at the same time.
It comes after he was arraigned in court on charges yesterday stemming from the January 6th Capitol riots.
Former President Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail just one day after pleading not guilty during the arraignment on charges he tried to overturn the 2020 election.
When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America.
Trump says the charges against him are meant to distract him from campaigning. He posted on social media Friday, resources that would have gone into ads and rallies will now have to be spent fighting these radical left thugs in numerous courts throughout the country. The cases have done little to slow down Trump's momentum with Republican voters. He continues to gain ground against his GOP primary rivals.
Well, I think it's politically motivated, absolutely.
Campaigning in Iowa, Governor Ron DeSantis, Trump's closest opponent, attacked the government and not the former president.
The question is, what are we going to do about it? We need to end the weaponization. We're going to hold DOJ, FBI, IRS, all these agencies accountable.
76% of likely Republican voters in a recent CBS News poll say the indictments are politically motivated. Trump posted this week, "I need one more indictment to ensure my election." Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Trump faces a total of 78 charges across 3 criminal cases. Yesterday, he was arraigned for the 3rd time in 4 months. In April, he was in court in New York on state charges related to an alleged hush money payment to an adult film star. In June, he appeared in court in Miami to face federal charges in a federal investigation into his handling of classified documents. And one more could be coming from Atlanta, where a district attorney there is considering an indictment for attempts to overturn the election in the state of Georgia.
We're going to switch gears right now and talk more about your weather as we head into the weekend. Now, it has been a little strange, right? And this morning, tough to get outside. We had that pesky drizzle. Almost felt like a winter day without the cold air, of course. We're warm and muggy a little bit right now, and we're just starting to get some indications of some pretty good clearing. Let me show you the contrast. This is the situation still in Greensboro. Sitting cloudy, temperatures in the mid-70s. But to take a look at Winston-Salem, you'll notice quite a difference. We have that blue sky building in, partly cloudy skies. You've got that Friday feeling there. 82 for the temperature, but it is very humid. That humidity has really snuck up. Our dew point is basically 70 degrees, which is that tropical feel outside. 80s to the west where the sun is, 70s for the rest of us, and those clouds kind of pesky, but they're trying their best to clear out. That's what that darker shade represents. Clear sky. We also have that live view from space of our cloud cover on our satellite. Showers are done with us. We won't have any more rain for the rest of today. And for the weekend, honestly, you're in pretty good shape to stay dry. You will be sweating if you're outside for a bunch tomorrow, especially if you're at the golf tournament. It'll be right around 90 for the afternoon, close enough to it anyway. And Sunday, look right there. We do have a chance of a pop-up storm, but there won't be a ton. Just keep an eye on that. The time frame would be about 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday. You have been advised. Looking at tomorrow, upper 60s in the morning, upper 80s for the afternoon. It's hot, it's humid, it's August again here in the Piedmont.
With the Wyndham Championship underway, we caught up with the team that handles the driving range. WFMY News 2's Christian Morgan and Hunter Funk learned about the process and the number of volunteers it takes to sort each ball.
Ready? Okay, let's do this thing.
All right.
All right, talk to us. What's on the front of this?
As you see, you have the spindles, and there's 6 baskets. And what's kind of neat, these guys are so good. If you see them hitting the area, they don't miss by much. Here, that's where they unload them.
So I'm gonna have you walk through that process too real quick.
They'll come out and show you.
So we just got done picking the range balls. What are they doing right now?
So now the volunteers will empty them into baskets. They'll clean the balls up, and then they'll bag them up for the pros again to carry back out and to hit them back out in the range again.
How many times do you do this?
About every 15 minutes.
And are they usually fuller than these buckets?
Yes.
All right, so Gary, now we're up here after we picked the range, and so tell me what's going on here. These guys aren't playing basketball with the golf balls. They're doing actually something really important job here.
Right, so as we pick the range, there's all different types of golf balls that's hit, the Titleists, the Callaways, the TaylorMades. So these guys have to wash all the balls, put them and separate them, and then they'll bag them up on the table for the caddies and the pros to come pick up at the range, so that these guys are doing all the separation right now.
So tell us why that's so important that these guys get a certain brand of ball.
So every professional golfer, in addition to their contract, prefer a certain style ball. Some may be harder, some may fly higher, some may fly lower, and each ball has a different characteristic, and that's why they stick to that particular ball type.
These are all volunteers here working on this, and they're here pretty much all day and really all week long during the tournament.
We got here at 5 this morning, and there was a couple of them here at 5 helping with the range a little bit, and they'll be here till probably 7 tonight. But yeah, everything is a manual separation.
So after we pick the range, after we sort all the balls, then we finally get the final product, right? And then it comes out here, and these are going to go in the Titleist Pro V1X category here, and now they're ready to be hit again.
More you know, right? I did not
realize
that they had their own ball, and now my excuse for my bad golf game is because I don't have the same golf balls.
That's just not the right balls. Got to get another kind.
Now we have excuses.
I love seeing behind the scenes stuff at Wyndham. Yesterday, probably my favorite part was going in. There's a trailer that the PGA uses where they track every single ball as it's hit, and they're able to determine how fast the ball's going, where it'll end up, and then they're also able to give odds on whether the golfer can make that putt based on 5 years worth of similar putts.
Oh my goodness. Interesting.
And it's all just math, right, at that point. Like
yes.
Odds and based on history, okay, we knew when you hit that ball last time, this was the outcome.
Right.
Pretty fascinating.
And then they're able to then send it to...
Yep, and so they say within 1 second, the PGA Tour gets the information. Within 30 seconds, humans will look over to make sure that it didn't screw up.
Right.
And then it is immediately sent out to fans and the networks broadcasting.
That is super cool, so you can kind of get the different context and behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I always love to watch it, and they have the thing that shows you where the ball is, because I can never track
the tail, yeah.
You can't really see it, can you?
No, I can't.
No.
I know other people can, but I cannot.
Thanks for doing that, Sue.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
you.
That's right.
Keep on.
Well, the Wyndham and the PGA Tour, they have a storied partnership. Excluding the majors, this tournament is the 7th oldest on tour. The first Wyndham was played back in 1938, and this video is from the tournament in 1951. The Wyndham has been played at Starmount Forest, Forest Oaks, and of course Sedgefield Country Club. Triad golf fans have seen many of the all-time greats come through Greensboro. Ben Hogan, Lee Trevino, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, and Tiger Woods have all teed it up here. Tournament Executive Director Mark Brazel told us the key to the longevity of the Wyndham.
It's been about the community, and then we got a lot of very knowledgeable golf fans who love the game, and they always come out here. So this has been which is why the COVID year was so brutal. Like, there's nobody here. And I'm like, why are we even having this event if there's no fans? And I mean, I understood it, but it was awful. And so for us to kind of get past that time and to be kind of in our second full year with COVID behind us, I think that people just, really look forward to this in anticipation. This is either their most fun golf event they go to every year or their most fun party. It's one or the other. That's about 100% of the people. I'm gonna go over there and have a nice party, or I'm gonna go watch a lot of golf. Some of them do both.
Well, there are only a few tournaments older than the Wyndham. They include the Western, the Canadian, Valero Texas, Genesis, Phoenix, and Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Again, these exclude the majors. Hall of Famer Sam Snead, you know the cup's named after him. He won the first Wyndham championship back in 1938 and earned $1,200 for the victory. Last place in the 18-player field that year earned $20. Now compare that to this year. This year's winner will get a check for more than $1 million.
Well, since the Wyndham is in town, we thought we'd ask you who your pick for the greatest golfer of all time would be. Terry Bledsoe said, Tiger. If his career hadn't been disrupted, it wouldn't have been a question. He lost nearly 6 years of full seasons due to injury, nearly lost his leg, had personal issues. Well, Gina Baldwin also said, Tiger Woods, y'all. Been following him since 1996. Candace Lee Phillips said Jack Nicklaus, more tour wins, more major wins than any other golfer. I just loved watching him play. And Dwayne Young said Fred Couples because he was so consistent. Steve Stump said Lee Trevino. So a lot of those names that we heard here at the Wyndham.
Everyone's a fan of someone else, right? It's just, what's your favorite?
Yeah. Who do you like watching? Whose personality do you like? Maybe you like, the gear that they wear.
Yeah, I think there is certain flair when it comes to golf fashion. Yes,
absolutely.
And this is a video of the sandcastle out at Sedgefield. So you guys, you know this is a live picture. You know that every year they build the sandcastle. Well, now they've got a sandcastle building. And on top of it, you can do a little mini golf.
And I'm hoping we get to see that in the next hour or so.
I hope so, too.
I'm told we're going to get to see that.
I don't know if a building made out of sand is going to pass inspection. How is it standing up in our triad weather?
The PGA Tour has a lot of influence, right?
Better have some reinforced beams in there if people are living inside.
We'll be right back.
Twins share some of the most unique human connections in the world.
That's right, but as these twins learned, their sibling connection goes way past just the two of them.
Amelia used Ancestry.com just a few years ago to find out more about her family.
I was curious to know more of my background and my ancestry, as well as figure out who my father was and if I could connect to any of the other siblings.
And I didn't think I had this many. I was thinking maybe 2 to 3.
A few months later, results showed her that she had 8 confirmed siblings, but then her twin brother Andrew took a DNA test on 23andMe, finding 18 confirmed siblings. A news story in Canada shared by their stepmother showed a group of donor siblings that looked similar to both Andrew and Amelia.
It's like, there's no way we're not related.
DNA results confirmed that the twins were related to 30 other donor-related siblings.
It was amazing reacting to how many people are related to me, especially brothers and sisters. And when it came to like knowing that they actually existed in that amount, it's crazy.
The two connected with their newfound siblings through social media groups just a few years ago, and since then, the number of siblings has grown to 65.
It just keeps growing and more keep getting added to the chat and being welcomed in.
Members of the 2046 sibling group live in Canada, California, throughout the East Coast and Midwest. Their ages range from 14 to 27.
Causes me to think like I'm in a new life, like with other beings that are like me that I didn't know were existed.
Amelia and Andrew traveled to New Jersey last summer to meet some of their brothers and sisters, discovering similar physical traits and interests, with many of them being very athletic and artistic.
We went to a Planet Fitness Center up there, and that was really fun. We went in the morning, and all of us were on the treadmills at once, which was kind of funny. We were just wondering if anyone would notice that we were all related.
As for the future of their relationship with their siblings, the twins hope to plan annual summer trips to keep everyone connected.
Just working together to learn more about ourselves and to establish that connection, because connections are important. Those are things that are going to help you get through life and things that can be everlasting. And it helps make life worthwhile as well.
Do you guys have any twins in your families?
I have some on my mom's side, yes.
No twins. No. Just a lot of really cool non-twins. What are people called if they're not twins? Singles?
Siblings.
You know, like, what am I? Because I'm not a twin.
You're just a child.
A lone wolf.
Oh my gosh, yes, looking for your pack. You know, I've had a couple of friends who have had twins, and they say like the twins have their own like little, their own communication style, their own communication
that's
skills.
crazy.
Like they have their own little language and stuff
They
like that.
say that. It's so hard to understand if you're not one, how that might work. I don't know.
It's weird to me when you know somebody who's a twin and you don't know their twin, and then you meet the twin. And
yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's happened here because we have somebody at work here who is a twin, and we didn't meet until the wedding day, and we were all like, "You're the twin.
You're
the twin."
It's also weird
Are
to
you
me
sure?
that some twins are identical and others are not.
Right, fraternal.
We'll have biology coming up after the break. We'll talk all about it.
We'll be right back. It's almost time for kids to go back to school, and as you know, lots of families have already started back to school shopping. Well, teachers got a head start today as well at the Teacher Supply Warehouse. The warehouse let more than 100 new Guilford County teachers stock up on free supplies. The warehouse is a nonprofit that gives teachers free supplies that are donated. Teachers can sign up for a time to shop.
Well, tomorrow, Lexington City Schools is giving away clear backpacks. It's part of their new clear backpack policy. This year, they're requiring all students to have clear plastic or mesh book bags. There are exceptions for lunch boxes, sports bags, and medical supplies. The giveaway takes place on Saturday from 11 until 2 at Lexington High School.
And you have a chance to save on clear bags or school supplies, but you will have to drive to do it. South Carolina's tax-free weekend kicked off today. There won't be the usual 6% sales tax on clothes, school supplies, or electronics. Tax-free weekend goes through Sunday. Our state no longer holds those tax-free weekends.
We'll get you your weekend forecast before we let you go. We are looking ahead at tomorrow, and it will be a lot different than what we saw for today. The cloud cover kind of fading away. You'll have a lot of sunshine for tomorrow. Upper 80s to low 90s possible for your Saturday, and same idea for Sunday. The difference for Sunday is that we will have a better chance of 1 or 2 pop-up showers and storms. That would most likely be between about 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Sunday. Keep an eye on that. Otherwise, we go into next week. More typical summer weather for us. The best storm chance would be Monday afternoon. That's your 4 to 5. We'll be right back after the break.
That was a lot, and I actually.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Hi, Brad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, checking. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ryan's telling me of the stories of pandemic live shots of the Wyndham. 1, 2, 3, 4. On that brown cow. Did I turn myself off? Hold on, I turned myself off. Yep, sorry.
God.
All right, let's try this one more time. I realized my mic probably was off. In fact, it was off. Can you hear me now, Brad?
Hey there, it's time for my 2 cents. Today, I want you to take a moment and think about someone who inspires you. For me, on a personal level in my life, my mom and dad inspired me the most. My mother was the ultimate caretaker and super street smart. Meanwhile, my dad was the academic guy and a spiritual leader and my buddy. And so from a personal level, it was my parents. But when I think about a professional level, my mind always comes back to one, I guess you'd say, talk show host and comedian, Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was my idol growing up and really the reason I do what I do today. He always had that way of making you feel like he was only talking to you, like you were in the club. You were there with Ed McMahon and Doc Severinsen and Tommy Newsom and the band. And for America, we all felt like he was our friend that we would visit with one last time before we tucked in for the night. In fact, in a lot of cases, people said Johnny Carson tucked America in every night. He had that way, that small town boyish charm, being from a small area in Nebraska, that just kind of reached out and touched everybody. In fact, I liked him so much that at my last station in Tampa, Florida, where I worked before I came to WFMY News 2, a buddy of mine gave me this on my last day. I thought it was going to be a watch. I opened it up, and inside was a pencil with erasers on both ends. And at first I looked at him and I went, wait, what? And then I remembered. Johnny Carson kept the pencils with double erasers on both ends on his desk the entire time he hosted The Tonight Show. He said it was a way to remind him that people make dumb mistakes and it's okay. Move on and do better. And so every day that has sat on my desk since I left Tampa, Florida, and came here to Channel 2. And it's a reminder that we're all human, but it's also a reminder of those that inspire us and that fuel us to do what we want to do and live the dreams that we want to live. So I want everybody to take a moment today, think about the person or persons that inspire you, and hold them up in your heart, because they are part of the reason why you are who you are today. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We start with 2 top stories, both alleged crimes caught on camera. A woman accused of assaulting children in Greensboro, and thieves crashing into a Thomasville DMV to steal an ATM.